What's up, guys? Just got done playing around with the saw here a little more. I told you I'd do an update on it. So it's about a month after my initial video of the assembly and setup of this saw, and I guess I can give you somewhat of a review now. I played around with it, like I said, for about a month, and I have to say, out of the box, the saw does need some modifications to be a decent bandsaw. Not major modifications, a couple minor ones, and I'll walk you through them right now. It's something that you could do easily for about 70 or 80 bucks. First thing that I did to the saw, as you can see, was I mounted it on a piece of MDF with some wheels or casters. Simply because my area that I work in, you know, I call it a shop, but to be honest, it's really a shed. And I do have to move it around a lot to get to different things. So went over to Harbor Freight. They had a sale on wheels. I think I picked these up for about $3 a piece. They are, you know, locking wheels. They can lock into place so the saw doesn't move around. And they are just mounted to this MDF here with 4 bolts. The one bolt goes through the original hole where the adjustable feet were. And the other 3 are just drilled in there with some washers. So, you know, functions quite well. I'm able to move it around easily now. So that's it for the base part. Or I should say that's it for the wheel portion of it. On top of the base, what I went ahead and did was I took the saw and the motor off, and I mounted another piece of MDF, 3/4 MDF here, just to try to stiffen the base up a little bit. I remember telling you I had a little bit of a wobble with the saw. The wobble was terrible when you were cutting wood. Mainly because with the saw they ship you these rubber feet that I showed you in the first video. These things are junk. Hopefully you watch this video before you watch the setup and you can save yourself some time. Do not put those on there. It might help with the vibration a little bit on the saw end, but what it does is it creates a wobble on the motor. And what happens when the motor wobbles is it transfers up the belt, comes back to the saw, and in essence it makes the saw vibrate again. So they are pretty useless. Do not put those on. The motor is basically just mounted now straight to this base with bolts, nuts, and lock washers, okay? So do not put those rubber washers on there. They do not help one bit. Okay guys, so the second thing I did to this saw was change the belt. If you remember from the first video, I was telling you how disappointed I was in how they packaged the belt. And let me tell you, after a month, you can still see how this thing is. It's terrible. It didn't stretch or flex well at all over the 2 pulleys. I was hoping that if I left it set up over time, it would straighten out and you know, take the wobble and the vibration out of the saw. It didn't. It just got worse. So what I ended up doing was I went online and did a little shopping. And I came across this Power Twist Plus belt that I guess, I don't know how you say that, Fenner Drives, they make it. There's their website. I picked it up from rockler.com. Let me tell you, this is a great belt. It was a little pricey. It was around 30 or 40 bucks if I remember correctly. But really neat the way it's set up. Here's a section that I pulled off the belt, and what it is it basically locks together with these T-type tabs into the belt section. And what you could do is you could size the belt when it arrives for your application. So you can use this for band saws, table saws, really any type of V-belt drive assembly. And like I said, I pulled that section off and I got it over the 2 pulleys from the motor to the saw now. And it really rides nice on the 2 pulleys now. No more wobble. Works great. I'll turn the saw on for you when I'm done showing you all the modifications I made. But definitely worth the extra investments. Like I said, it costs a little bit more than a traditional V-belt, but definitely worth it. Okay, and finally the last modification I made to the saw was I changed the blade. The blade that comes with this saw initially is pretty much junk. It's just to get you started. I found it left a rough cut on the wood. It was the thicker type blade. I really did want to run a thinner blade. I have a 1/4 inch blade on here now. just to do a little more intricate work. I'm really not going to be doing that much resawing. I'd like to give it a try eventually, but being what I just said is why I went ahead and bought a 3-pack of blades from Rockler as well when I went ahead and ordered the belt. Here's some Olsen blades. These things rock. These things are awesome. Definitely, they're not that much money. I think I paid $30 for this three-piece assortment of blades, and they give you a 3/16, a 1/4 inch, and I think a 5/8. So like I said, I put the 1/4 inch on. I got these other 2 blades. Here's a blade I guess you can use for resawing, and here's a one for even finer work than I usually do. So yeah, so I put that on here. I basically read over the manual about 4 or 5 times. I got down how you make all the adjustments here with the rollers and the blocks. Probably one other thing I'm going to wind up doing with this is getting myself a new set of blocks. I read a lot of good things about those cool blocks, so I'll probably try those out. I mean, these things are a little noisy when it's running, but it's working okay now. And I learned basically how to tension all this on here. It's all in the manual, pretty descriptive. And actually, once you start playing around with it and you get it turned on, you basically get to know what all these knobs and everything do as far as the tensioning of the blade and whatnot. So, like I said, I'll turn this on for you now. For all you safety fanatics out there, I'm one too, but I do have the guard off right now because I just wanted to show you the operation of the belt on the pulleys here without it being covered. So like I said, I got these wheels that lock, so you want to go ahead and lock the wheels all in so it's not moving around on you. If I can get this one here. Okay, so those are all locked and I'm going to fire it up. Now as you can see, you can see the motor right away. It's not dancing around anymore, it's nice and smooth. The belt tracks very nicely on the pulleys. Really working nice. It does have a little vibration. The vibration more or less is from the floor in the shed here. I'm sure if this was on a concrete floor, it probably wouldn't be vibrating at all. But I did that nickel test on here. I don't have one on me now, and it doesn't fall over. The thing works great. So, like I said, 70, 80 bucks. Go get yourself a piece of MDF. You could probably even use plywood if you wanted to. You're gonna have to get a little longer hardware for this, because the bolts obviously you're gonna be going through 3/4 now instead of just through the original steel base. So you got to get some bolts, get yourself a new blade, get yourself a belt, and this saw, I'm not going to say it's going to function like a $1,500 saw, but it works a lot better out of the box with these modifications than it did before. So, I hope you found this video informative, and thanks for watching.